Hi, welcome to this video on writing A-grade paragraphs for the upcoming controlled assessment. This one is on Steinbeck's use of personification when Curley's wife dies. So here we go, here are the discussion topics that we've talked about in my sessions. I'm going to do a PE video on all of these, looking for 5 minutes, so instead of you guys going for a 20-minute podcast, you can just do short, sharp little ones. Hopefully it'll be good use to you. Like I said, this one is on personification. If I'm being honest, this would be a great point to make on your essay. However, it's probably one that we can't explore as fully as the other ones. So I would say it is probably the 11th on the list of the ones I would choose. However, if you did use it properly, the examiner would definitely be impressed, and it's a high level answer. Obviously, we don't want to fail like this girl with a water bottle, and that will happen if you just talk about plot. If you just talk about plot, you're not going to get above an E. You're going to get the higher grades by analysing the language, not just talking about the plot. So remember, the perfect PE is point, evidence, explain, which you would have done at school. Make a simple point, give a quote, and then tell me in your explanation why that quote proves your point. But then what we're also going to add to this PE, we're going to add in, zoom in on a word or a phrase or a couple of words in the quote and talk about why Steinbeck has chosen them. And then we're going to talk about context in 1930s America. The quote that I've chosen is, "Then gradually time awakened again and moved sluggishly on." This is just after Curley's wife has died. So my point is, Steinbeck uses personification to show how her death has changed the lives of everyone on the ranch. So remember, before she dies, people have dreams. She wants to be an actress, George, Lenny and Candy want to go in their house. The moment she dies, it does end for everyone. So there's my quotation again. So basically what I'm saying with the personification, and remember, personification is a figure of speech that gives qualities of a person to an animal, an object or an idea. So for example, here's a little image of the wind. If you said the wind whistled all night, that would be personification. The wind can't literally whistle, but it makes it more interesting for the reader, makes it more descriptive. So basically what I'm saying with the quote is that time stopped when Curley's wife died. There's a quote in the story that says a moment. So a moment stopped. But what we're saying is that life goes on. So time stopped, but time awakened again. So it's basically giving time a human emotion of waking up. So what this quote is saying is that even though Curley's wife has died, even though someone has died, time still goes on. But then we're going to zoom in on the word. We're going to zoom in on the word sluggishly. So sluggishly almost think you're doing it lethargically, you don't want to do it, it's going to be slowly, it's going to be a real effort, it might be even a little bit painful. So what we're saying with this is that even though time will go on, if we don't have dreams, because remember the dreams have ended, if we don't have the dreams, then it will be a really painful existence, it will be a sluggish existence, be a miserable existence. And then we could talk about 1930s America, where again, Steinbeck is basically saying no one really cares about each other, even though someone's died. Even though this girl has died, Curley's reaction is he doesn't really care. No one cares on the ranch. So it's almost like looking after number one in 1930s America. So my point is, Steinbeck uses personification to show her death has changed the life of everyone on the ranch. Then the quote. Then my explanation is, this image uses personification to suggest that time doesn't stand still, and even though a person has died, life goes on. Then I'm going to zoom in on sluggishly. The author is also telling us that everyone's dreams have died, and the adverb sluggishly suggests that without dreams, life will be tiresome and harder to get through. So basically I'm just saying there, in one sentence, why Steinbeck has used sluggishly. He didn't have to use it. If he would have just said that people moved on, maybe we would have thought, oh, actually, it'll be okay. However, using the word sluggishly, we know that life is going to be painful for these characters in the novel. Then the context. Due to the Great Depression, an atmosphere of self-preservation took over the country. The fact that time stops only for a moment suggests that no one mourns Curley's wife and they are only interested in themselves. So again, I'm just talking about the fact that no one really cares she dies. They're just interested in themselves. Even when Candy finds her, he's not mourning over her. He's mourning over the fact that he won't get his dream of having the house. There's it put into a paragraph. So remember, if you just did point, evidence, explain, you're only going to get to the blue, and if you did it well, you might get a C. If you did it not so well, you're looking at a D. But by adding the green font, zooming in, by adding the pink font, context, you're moving yourself up to B or A grade. To be honest, the personification quotes and the explanation would get you a high mark anyway, because it's a higher level answer. So don't worry too much if you can't get your head around it, because it is a really top answer. So but if you can, it would definitely be a great point to make. So remember, point, evidence, explanation, then zoom in on a quote or one or two, discuss the context 1930s America. So that's it for this video on personification. Any questions, give me an email.